Talking with Beecher. Let's go.
Better?
Yeah.
Harder?
I want to see your ugly face.
Yeah, harder?
Hold on.
How's my mustache? Is it fine?
I got to keep that part in there.
For the people, by the people. Oh.
Yeah, you're good. So technical difficulties as normal, but I got it going. So what is your name and who is your daddy? No, this is Sammy Mongonia. Did I say that right?
Depends on who says it.
Mongonia.
Yeah, it depends on who says it.
So just to be clear, I trained him for a bunch of his fights, and I don't know, 40, 50, I don't know. And this announcer, his name's Mongonia, and the announcer's going, Mongonia.
Changed my whole life.
And dude, how many emails did you get about that?
Oh,
Text.
yeah, even like people talking, like even people that are fighting me, they talk crap and they were like, Mongonia, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God. It's awesome, though.
I'm like, you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Mongonia. Who was that? What was that guy? What's that guy's name? He announces for Triumphant.
Dang, you're killing me right now.
I forget his name.
I know he's going to watch it too, but these mother...
He's a cool cat, though. He's a pretty nice guy. He's always smiling. He's a cool cat. So, before I had these technical difficulties, you were talking about you opened a gym?
I did.
And it's in the north side of Houston?
Yeah, Spring, Texas.
Spring, which is essentially Houston.
Yeah.
But it's the north side, right?
Yeah.
And where is it at?
Louetta in Kirkendall. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu and MMA stuff out there. There's no strict.
There's jiu-jitsu everywhere.
Yeah, there is.
So, like, somebody says, where should I train jiu-jitsu? I said, okay, fly to a city. Just walk to the corner, close your eyes, and throw a rock. Follow the rock to the jiu-jitsu school, because that's where the jiu-jitsu school.
Yeah, yep.
And jiu-jitsu's good. I do jiu-jitsu, so it's not bad. I'm just saying, there's jiu-jitsu schools everywhere.
Yep.
But you opened when?
Right in the pandemic.
Right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Me too.
So that was I talked to a bunch of financial advisors. I talked to a bunch of people that own businesses. And then there was literally, it was like, do not do it right now. And I was like, okay, sounds good. All I was looking for that one yes. From a couple of my buddies, they gave me the yes.
I gave them a yes.
Yeah.
I said, let's fucking do it.
I personally try not to listen to Mark. Really
good idea.
Yeah. In and outside the... No, I'm just playing. But I did have some buddies that were like, hey, you've been at this game for a long time. And one of my buddies that really, he was like, if you're going to school to be a lawyer, you become a lawyer.
Right.
And, my whole career I've taught and I've coached and fought at the same time. Which
is one of the hardest things to do.
It's very hard. It also, too, helps you understand a lot of stuff. You learn a lot, you know what I mean? But it does, back in the day, I'd be wrapping my hands and cornering my brother when he was fighting, So it's put a lot of stress on that. But like I said, if it's anything that's easy and that you can just flow with, it's probably not worth my time. If it's, like I said, nothing's ever been handed to me, so I've always known nothing but to push, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but you move, you go. Like when you do stuff, we work at it. You're not that guy that's like just barely does enough. I already know. I worked with you a bunch.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yep.
So when you opened, you got a bunch of students?
So that was a big fear, was like, everyone tells you like, oh, your first 2 years, like, man, you're not gonna be paying, you're gonna be this, that.
Yeah, but most businesses it's 3 years.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, which I never understood, was how do these businesses, are these guys independently wealthy? How do they go for 3 years and pay $5,000 in rent and lights and all that? With that? Man. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah. No.
But that didn't happen to you.
Yeah. So I did an open gym for the week, and we were still finished. As a matter of fact, my boy Andrew, big shout out to him. He's helped us out a lot. I have some really good core guys that helped me out, and we spent 18-hour days. We put that entire gym together in 4 days. Period. Yeah. And if you follow us on like social media, Sammy's Muay Thai, you'll see like, you can go back and look at pictures and stuff. So it's been really cool. Also too, I've been very blessed to have the support from my wife. That's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
It destroys marriages. It destroys friendships, because you pour your heart and soul in there. And sometimes you don't have nothing left to give anyone else too, But getting back to the story, whenever we were opening, it was like the very first day we had 40 papers saying like, hey, you can sign up for $100 to make sure that these lights stay on, that it's not pulling food out of my family's mouth to keep this place open.
Right.
And I was prepared to try to pay for it out of my own paycheck if I needed to. I got there to the place, and it's a shopping center, and you've been there. It's a shopping center, and there's like a bunch of cars and stuff as was normal at a shopping center. Walked up and opened the door, and all of a sudden I hear doot doot doot, click click, like doors closing, everything. I turn back around, I look, and it's like ants, like walking.
A bunch of people.
And
that's awesome.
And I was super overwhelmed. I had to go in the bathroom, and I just like trying not to get teary-eyed, you know?
Yeah, but you know, the cool thing about it is there's a couple of things. One, it's by your house. And then two, there's no other gyms out there. Mm-hmm. So you have an optimum spot for everybody to come. They don't want to drive all the way to Katy, or they don't want to drive all the way downtown.
Yep.
They have your spot right there.
Yeah.
So it worked out fantastically.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't ask for a better location. And then the gyms in the area, they know me really well as far as like fighting. Whenever they came over, the MMA gyms, they literally all support me, because they don't look at me as competition. They look at me as like a sharpening tool. Because
for sure.
that's my art. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, hey, you need to work on your striking a little bit. You need to go over to Sammy's. And the jiu-jitsu guys, obviously, I don't have jiu-jitsu, so I'm not competition. Like, they would do Muay Thai. Hey, go down the street to Sammy's. So it's been really cool to just only. And a lot of gyms, man, these days they don't do just Muay Thai, because it's hard. It's hard to pay bills with that.
Yeah, because you want to have. MMA is the big thing. So you want to have jiu-jitsu, you want to have wrestling, you want to have boxing, and you want to have MMA.
Yep.
But it's tough.
And opening the gym, I've had lots of people, literally lots of people that were just like, man, how'd you get it popping so quick? Like, you know, I want to open my own gym and this and that. And I'll be 100% honest, bro. You see online, you see my posts, you see my constant always just throwing stuff out there. And yeah, it did start. It's 6 months and we have over 100 something students. That's awesome, right? But also too, it started 15 years ago when I started fighting.
Yeah.
It's not just I had 2 fights and I was like, yo, I'm opening a gym now, and now my gym's empty, you know?
You're not paying to train with this guy. You're paying for all the stuff I did to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I teach you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get hit less than I got hit for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
And I tell people when I'm teaching, man, you don't have to be a great fighter to be a great coach, but it does help.
In my case, you're right. Yeah, I'm a way better coach. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely one of those situations where, like, normally most of the stuff that I use, either A, I've hit you with it, or B, I've been hit with it. Yeah. But I learned both ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mostly learned by getting hit with stuff. Yeah, for sure. But dude, there's a lot of cases like Ramon Deckers. Ramon Deckers was one of the best ever, but he wasn't very good at teaching. I don't think so. I never trained with him, but his guys didn't excel as well as he did, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And my guys excelled way better than I did. So I was better at teaching. Not the reason I wanted to do this, but you got to go with what you can do.
Yeah, and it's one, like, to me, like, opening the gym, like I said, I never thought I was going to open my own gym, ever. And people wonder, like, I had put basically a 2-year plan together. And I put a 2-year plan together. It was like, all right, by 2 years, I'll be able to maybe sustain my family, be able to keep my house, you know what I mean? And then it turned into a 1-year plan. And then I'm 2 months in, and then all of a sudden I paid off all the stuff that I kind of like did little things for.
You paid off everything for the 2-year plan?
Yes.
Nice.
Literally in 2 months.
Good.
Now,
perfect.
Was I working freaking 18 hours a day?
Yes.
Was I doing every private lesson that wanted to come through the door? Was I teaching every class? Was I doing everything I possibly can? Was my wife teaching classes? Was she doing sign-ups? Was she doing the reach-outs? Yes. And like the biggest thing to me was, a lot of people let their businesses go under. I will walk and knock on your door before and shake every person's hand in Houston before my gym goes under.
Yeah, and that's how you have to take it. Like that. You know, I mean, so your goal when you have a product, and whatever your product is, ours obviously is a gym, is to have a great product. And it sells itself. You don't have to knock on people's door because I have a great product.
Yep.
You know, I don't have to go sell it to this guy. You want to train with me, you like it or you don't, you know? So you like my training because I'm good at teaching, or not. That's it.
Yep.
You know.
And people come in and we have a really good family atmosphere. I'm not big on like you go to a gym and guys are just meatheads and this and that. And I'm still trying to be an active pro fighter, and I'll beat you up my dang self and send you on the way. So
that's a good question. So you want to fight again? You haven't fought in how long?
Right before COVID, we were supposed to go in and put some work in, and then kind of locked up. And then we kind of had some stuff lined up. This year, stuff's just kind of just falling through the strings a little bit. I thought opening the gym was going to shut me down a lot, but I got certain days that I got open where I can come train with Mark and go over here and move around with his guys. And then my guys have drastically came along a lot, so it's given me good training partners and stuff too. So
yeah, so you're gonna fight again, huh?
I want to.
Yeah.
I kind of retired myself, but I think most guys usually retire 3-4 times before they actually retire, right?
Yeah, so hopefully we get on a Triumphant show.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
The Triumphant show got pushed back though. Shout out to Jeff Juarez. He's a great promoter.
Awesome promoter.
He has really good shows. So we have a couple of people in mind that we wanted to scrap on that show. So Sammy coming back.
Yeah, doing some things with some things.
Yeah. So your gym's running well then?
It's doing well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you quit your job?
I did. Like I said, we went from a 2-year to a 2-month plan.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be honest, man, it's really been an eye opener because in the U.S., man, we want everything. Like we want everything, no matter if it costs us. And people, it sucks. It costs us our families. It costs us our lives. You blink and you wake up the next day, and for what? A sports car you just wrapped around a tree, or you know what I mean? So for me, I make a quarter of what I made at my job. Ask me how happy I am.
Yeah. Are you way happier now?
Way happier.
Yeah.
I have more time for my family. I have more time to myself.
For sure.
And do not get me wrong. They say like money is either root to all evil or a pathway to happiness. And do not get me wrong, it would be a little more stressful if my bills weren't paid.
Yeah.
But if my bills are paid, literally, like if I get a certain amount of money with privates and this and that, and my bills are paid, bro, I got freaking $20 in my pocket. I'm chilling, bro. Like I'm happy.
But the thing is, money buys freedom. So like, if you do have money, it's not really evil. Like if you use it
It's
to
a tool.
buy your
It's a
freedom,
tool. It's a tool
for happiness, then it's good. So it's not bad.
No.
Just
It's a
depends on how
tool.
you take
That's it. It's a tool. That's it. And if you look at it as a just chasing all the time, don't get me wrong, we got in our industry, we got to chase it because I'm like, oh, I got freaking 6 memberships. Check my email. I got 6 cancellations.
Yeah. I mean, people are flakes, people flake out of nowhere for no reason, and it just happens a lot. And it's still something that's super hard to get used to,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
People you sign a contract and then they just flake out on it.
Yep.
We're like, oh, I signed a contract? You signed it. Yeah, I know. It's pretty tough.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be pretty reasonable with people, obviously. And I tell people when people sign up at my gym, I'm like, I literally start the conversation. And everyone that watching this is going to just smile when I say this. I'm literally start with the conversation. All I ask you is to be upfront and truthful with me, and I will do the exact same for you. That's it.
And you should be.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you a good business owner.
No.
For sure.
I've talked to other certain business owners and different things, and like I feel like my approach on some things are a little bit different. I've always kind of lived my life a little bit as looking from the outside, looking in a little bit. I guess I've always been just a little bit different in different areas, and so I really do believe like being good to people, it'll come back. And I'll be 100% honest. People like me sometimes get burnt out because you have givers and you have takers, and givers find takers.
Everyone takes from the giver.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So
I'm a giver too.
Yeah.
I know.
So one of those deals is like, you got to learn as I'm getting older to learn to, because at the end of the day, and this is how I've been able to do this, is whenever I'm thinking about someone and I'm helping someone, is it taking from my family now? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And is it taking food out of my family's mouth? When I think it like that, that's what creates the inner inside of me to be like, step up and be like, yo, homie, like, no, and that's just in life in general.
Yeah, but man, I had to tell you about this too a little while back.
Yeah, I mean, always.
You would give up yourself, your sleep and everything just because someone asked you to come somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to learn this word. Ready? No. You need to learn that, dude. For sure.
Yeah, and that's really sad that that's a hard thing to overcome on something, but it is. And I've learned over the last couple of years, really, to like, helping run a shop, leading a gym, being a dad, like really being a husband, all that stuff. We're really working together. So it's all kind of like, it's all been playing together. So I feel like I'm not the same person as I was.
So now let me ask you this. You're a giver. What did you do? You went to Africa, right? Was it Africa?
Yeah, well, no, everywhere.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So
what happened?
I actually went on a deal called the World Race.
Okay, and what is it?
It's
The World Race?
Yeah, it's called the World Race. I lived out of my backpack.
Okay.
And
for how long?
A year, actually.
A year? Okay,
yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to like 16 countries. I went from all through Africa, all through Europe, on up into Asia.
Yeah?
Kind of all over everywhere. And we worked with some churches. We worked with a lot of orphanages, and we worked with some red light districts too, which is a pretty crazy thing to work with.
Like red light, like hooker districts? Hooker districts?
Yeah.
You worked with them?
Yeah.
Well, he worked with them. I'm just kidding. He's like super Christian.
So, I mean, stuff like that too, like it makes you look at people here in the States a lot different.
Okay, but what did you do when you were out there?
I went out there and literally, I mean, if it was one of my jobs, no lie, for a month at one location, I'm literally living in my tent, and my job was to get up, and I worked at like a soup kitchen, and my job was literally, no one wanted it, was to cut onions every day.
So you cut for how long?
Literally a month.
Like 5 hours a day?
Yes, like 5 to 6 hours a day.
Cutting onions?
Yeah, and then I cut the onions, and no one else wanted to do that. That was there. So they would bring me onions. I cut them. They put them in water to freeze them because no one wanted to cut them.
So, but you did this to help people, though.
I did.
So what people were you guys feeding?
We were feeding we're feeding orphans. We were working with people that were just, obviously you're overseas in third world countries and stuff. So everyone's always needing help, in those countries. And we also need a lot in the US too, but it's a big eye opener whenever you go to a different country and you're helping someone else out that just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that, it's not, I want to say hard in my heart to certain things in the U.S., but it kind of has. Whenever I look at people holding signs, or they're always got stuff going on, and like I think to myself, we were in Africa, in Uganda actually, and we sit down, we're talking at a school, and that you're going to school, and if you talking to school here, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're talking to freaking 14, 15-year-olds, and this dude hit us with a bombshell. He was like. And they were like, well, what do you want to do? And then kid raised his hand up, and he's like, no matter what I do, he's like, my families are farmers. He's like, no matter what I do and how much I get educated, I'm not moving out of here. And he was like, you're American, you can do anything you want. And I was sitting there like, dang, he hit us with that. Now, and so I look at people sometimes that don't have stuff. You're in the U.S., doesn't matter if you're a woman, your race, it's all going to cost you. You're always going to pay a price for something, whether it's sleep, financially, whatever it might be, you're going to pay for it. But living in the U.S., you can do anything. It sucks to say that. I don't have a crazy education, but I feel like I have accomplished a lot. I could die right now and look back and be like, I did some things in my life. Whether it was in the ring, outside of the ring, helping people, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And that's really what it comes down to, is life, to tell you the truth. Personally, for myself anyways.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you have to be smart enough to figure out how to do it, or you have to pay somebody to help you figure out how to do it, or have friends that'll help each other. Yep. But yeah, you can do anything. I'm trying.
And I'll be honest, man, opening this gym, like when I got back to the States, I was really like, you run into people, and people are just kind of rude sometimes, or this and that, and you kind of like...
Kind of rude sometimes, people?
That was my nice side.
Let's just say all the time.
Yeah.
People are fucking rude. Yeah.
So whenever I open this gym, this last 6 months has been refreshing. The guys I have at the gym, the people that I'm surrounded around, man, it's awesome. Because here's the deal, gyms work this way, and you know this. If you get a douchebag that freaking runs the gym, the rest of their guys are douchebags. If you get a guy that cares about people, that wants to invest into people, then their guys care and want to invest into people. So it's been literally awesome. I've been able to help guys hit their goals. I had 2 guys. One guy that's came in the gym, never even wanted to fight. He's got close to 4 fights now. He's lost like 80 something pounds. I have another guy that came to our gym. He's lost 60 pounds.
Yeah.
It's cool to help these guys reach their goals. You know what I mean?
So, dude, the same thing. Look, helping people reach their goals doesn't mean fighting. Like, I have people that fight. I have a bunch of people that fight, but I have a bunch of people that don't. But they lost a ton of weight and went to the doctor. I had a guy come tell me the other week. He said, I went to the doctor today. And I go, so? And he goes, you know what he told me? He said this right to my face. What the fuck have you been doing? And he goes, what? Doc, what? He goes, I'm gonna take you off your high blood pressure medicine. You don't need it anymore. You don't have high blood pressure.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna take you off your cholesterol medicine because you don't have high cholesterol anymore. He says, what have you been doing? And he goes, Muay Thai. Been training Muay Thai. And then that guy brought his family in. So it's not only fighters. It's for general health and well-being, and plus you learn how to fight too. That's a benefit.
Win-win.
That's yeah.
What people don't realize too when they're going to do martial arts is when they go to do martial arts, they're they're learning something, which disguises you burning calories, and then you're having fun.
And then fun. That's the main thing. Yes,
yep.
Exactly.
So it's if you create that atmosphere, there's nothing that can hold you back opening a gym, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And like I said, my gym wasn't just overnight. It kind of was, but it wasn't. I mean, if you look back at the 15 years.
I mean, but you taught at other gyms here in Houston before, so people knew who you were. Yep. Plus a lot of competitions you've done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and then obviously we went to a lot of places. We fought a lot, but I mean, and people don't realize, man, if you love the sport, you got to pay to play. As amateur, a pro, semi-pro, whatever. The one time me and you, we went 23-0 or something retarded. My biggest
25, 24, something. I don't remember. It was a lot.
So a lot of fights. To tell you, my biggest thing is, and people don't realize this, as much as I don't like Mark, I couldn't do what I did unless I had him there. You know what I mean?
You can hate me if you want to, but you win. That's it.
So,
hey, if you hate me, get in line. There's a long fucking line of people who hate me, motherfuckers.
So the one thing that I say is like, if you're wanting to go after something, it's going to cost you, just like we talked about earlier, totally. Like being in the U.S. Yeah. For most of these guys, that you get 2 fights in, man, I'm going pro and I'm going to make freaking $100 for a fight. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, Muay Thai, when I was fighting, they were like, well, he had so many semi-pro fights, amateur fights. Like, there was nowhere to fight. I could go pro and fight once a year.
That's why people stay amateur for so long. It's because you can fight 30 times a year amateur, but if you go pro, you're going to fight once a year. Like here in the States, that's how it is. That's just the fact.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I was working for a shop. I was making probably like $14-15 an hour max, and trying to feed a family. My wife was fighting too, and me, Mark, her traveled all over the place fighting. Mm-hmm. And I mean that year, I'm not even gonna lie, I probably spent $12,000 in just fighting alone. For sure. But what did I do? And I was telling my guys this the other day. I was like, that $12,000, every year you blow $12,000 that you can't even think about ever again. Like, you don't even know what you spent it on, whether it's a freaking doing Starbucks every millisecond day, or like you're going, putting gas in your car, or just BS eating a sandwich or whatever. Drinks. You spend 50.
But you don't drink.
I don't.
So you don't drink and you don't do drugs.
Fun fact of me. I have never drank in my entire life.
That's what I was gonna say. You've never drunk. You've never drank.
One of those.
You never drank in your whole life.
Yep.
Not once. Never did drugs ever.
No. I've never even smoked a cigarette.
Me neither.
I'm
son of a.
Yeah, I am literally the most. I tell everyone this. I'm the most interesting, boring person.
Do you have a reason behind that?
I grew up like in the church a lot, and that was kind of a little bit of my beliefs a lot. Okay. And as I got older, I'm just at the point now, like, why start now? Like, we go places and people would buy drinks and it'd sit on my table, and you would just grab that mess. You're like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with Sam drinking.
Yeah, let me have this. Because look, man, if somebody has drank before in their life, I'll push them to have a drink with me, you know. But if you've never drank it before ever, I'm not gonna be the one that makes you drink.
Yeah.
No way am I gonna be that one. You don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah. My guys always talk about that. Like, they just want to pin me down and get me drunk. Like, what if I'm that angry drunk? And it's like, oh, we're effed. We're gonna just shoot you. Like, yeah.
So that's good, man. That you've never drank ever. That's good.
I also don't cuss.
I know. I tried to make him cuss a bunch, but he's a mother sucker.
Yeah.
What's the reason behind that?
Like I said, I grew up like really in church and stuff, and I just didn't do it. And I'll be 100% honest. What's easier? And when I say what's easier, it's easier to cuss. It's easier to go have drinks with your friends. It's easier to smoke that cigarette. To me, if it's easy, I'm pushing against it. And that might be the hardcore, the punk rock stage back in the day. Like, you're always kind of pushing and grinding against something. And that's always been me. And it's just, like I said, it's harder for me to not do it. So I just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, it is. It's easier to cuss because I can just express myself with a F word. You know what I mean?
And then me as
sure. Yeah, mother sucker.
Yeah.
But look, man, I'm not really an organized religion guy. I'm pretty much really against it. I hate it. But there are certain select few people, and you're one of them, who use it for good. And Christianity for me is the worst, but you use it to do good things for people, and that's when I agree with it. Like, you know, I'm a Christian, so I went to Africa and helped people for a year of my life, because you're using that. That's a real Christian. Most people use it like this. They go out and they drink and they cheat on their wives, and they do all this stuff, and then they say, well, I'm just going to go say sorry at the end of the week. Yeah. So I'm good, right? Yeah. So then I can go do it again. Yeah. That's the same person that's sitting next to you in that church. Yeah. And I'm not down with that, you know? Yeah. Be a real person, you know? Yeah. If you're a Christian, be that person like you. And I'm down with that.
And I'm one of those guys, right? I really do believe the best in people. And like I said, my gym now
that'll hurt you a lot.
It will hurt you a lot.
It hurts me too. I do too.
It does. Yeah. And the world, the way they look at life is, prove me that you're worth my time. You know what I mean? And I almost look at things like, and if you come into my gym, you'll know right off the bat, my personality is, all right, cool, let's do this. And then you prove me till, okay, I'm not going to help you anymore. You know what I mean? And that's just in life in general. And then you obviously have those people that just keep coming back, and then eventually you have to be like, look, you know. And the only way I've ever been able to make myself think, like, say that word that Mark said earlier, no. That one.
Learn it.
Yeah. Was, you know, if it's going to hurt my family or it's taken from them, then that no becomes stern. You know what I mean? So that's all personal games. I don't want to say game. Yeah, I guess games in my head that I've played over the years. You know what I mean? So.
Well, let's get back to Africa. Where else did you go, and what else did you do? What about this red light district? What's up with that? You were helping some hookers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
So it's actually pretty crazy. I was in Africa. I was in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. In Tanzania, I actually caught malaria. And
which is forever, isn't it?
Yeah. So sometimes when I get sick, like if my immune system, when I'm getting ready for fights, I start smelling it in my system. Like, I went up to Canada for work and went and trained with Scott McKenzie out there, and I got it when I was out there. My back went out, like everything. I got sick.
So how do you contract malaria?
It's mosquitoes, bro.
Mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I do actually remember I was in a tent, and I remember my job was to keep the fire going.
You don't remember the exact mosquito, don't tell me.
I promise you, bro.
Think you
that motherfucker
no fucking way.
Freaking got on my arm. I remember going like this, and I was like, that dude. And then freaking whatever incubation time it was afterwards, I was like,
that's crazy. Yeah. And it happens in Africa a lot?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty much like the cold over there.
So do the mosquitoes carry it, or do they get it from someone and then they get it to you?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
yeah.
That's good research you did on shit.
I know I got it.
Yeah. But you have it forever once you get it.
It's in my system. Yeah,
it's in your system forever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they told me when I was going,
it's almost like COVID. You'll have it forever.
Yeah.
Stupid.
They told me either A, you can take this pill that'll slightly make you sick every day, or you take a chance in getting malaria. And I just took the chance, rolled the dice, and I got malaria. So. And
you should have took the pill.
I don't know.
Would that have kept you from getting it?
I don't know. I mean, what the COVID shot working? I mean, as people are unliking your video right now.
I'm gonna go with no. No, let's not start that conversation, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody knows my outlook on that shit, but I had COVID. It's a real thing. It sucked. When I had it, it was right at the beginning, and it was hard. But we didn't know what it was. But look, I'm not dead. I mean, it sucked. I had 104 fever, and I felt I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was gonna die, but I'm not dead. All right.
That's true.
So you went to Africa, and all of that was in Africa. You said you went to Asia too.
Yeah.
Europe too.
You may tell you in a little. It's time we got here, but
plenty of time.
Funny story, actually.
Some shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you a really funny story. I'm in Uganda, right? And so I am working with a church, with the little school and helping the kids and stuff, and with English and whatever. So I was, during the day, I worked for about 5 hours. And then I always, in the country that I went to, I would go find somewhere to train, whatever type of martial art, especially if it was like...
You were doing Muay Thai back then?
I was.
Oh, all right.
I had a couple of fights under me then.
All right.
So then I went out there and I grew my beard for the entire year while I was out there too, so I looked like straight homeless. I definitely played the part. But so I found I was asking these guys, my translators, like, "Yo, I'm looking like for a boxing place. I'm in the middle of nowhere," and he's like, "Oh, there's boxing like far," and I was like, "Okay, like how's far, you know?" And he's like, "Well, I'll take you tomorrow." I was like, "All right, let's go." So I show up at this place, and it's like it's like a little, I want to say like a little coliseum thing. I don't know what was on top of it. There was no lights. I walked in, and Mzungu basically means ghost man, like a white person. So I'm walking.
Was that your nickname?
It was.
Mzungu. Nice.
So I literally go there and I'm walking, and I went to this place, and at first she didn't want to take me because boxers, fighters, stuff like that means you're a bad person. They do betting, they do, whatever, you're just a bad person, which is probably true. But anyways, so I went, and after work I went over to this place. He took me over there, and we in there, and I walked in. There's a bunch of guys training, and it's dark. There's literally just little center block holes where you can kind of light comes in. They had a car battery that they had wired up to the ceiling.
For lights?
For a light bulb.
For one light bulb?
And that's what they trained in it. So it was like straight out of like, this is literally could make a movie in this crap. I have pictures on my Facebook too. I'll have to send you some pictures so you can post it. But there's literally, I go there and I walk in and I'm like, "Hey, I want to train." I was like, "Tell the dude I want to train." He was like, the dude looks me up and down and said, "No." And I was like, "No, seriously, I want to train." He was like, "No." And I was like, "I guess he only deals with fighters." And I was like, "No, bro, I've had some fights." I was like, "Tell him I fought." And he's like, "No." And I was like,
"Because you're white."
Yeah, I'm a Mzungu. So I left, and then with anything, I'm always challenged by like, okay, and I don't know if that's that old school like punk rock crap in me or whatever, but I was like, so I slept on it. I was like, "No, I'm going back." I told him to do the next day. I was like, "Yo, let's go back." And he was like, "No, we're not going back." I was like, "Please." And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "No." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'll take you." I was like, "Cool." So we went back the next day. I show up, and I'm like, have you ever heard this story before?
No.
So I walk in there and I'm like, I was like, "Hey, I want to train." Dude's like, "No." I was like, "Tell him that I've fought and I want to train." He's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm not getting nowhere. So I walk over and I was like, "I'm just not going to leave. How about that?" And I was like, "How much to train?" So he told me in like compared to US dollars, like $2 a day or something. He's like, "Okay, you want to train?" And I was like, "Yeah." He got annoyed at me enough. He was like, "All right, you want to train? Here," grabs these two little gauze, basically, that you just kind of wrap your hands with. Like, it was an ace bandage, pretty much.
Right.
He throws it to me. He's like, and he just throws it to me. I'm like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "I need some gloves or something." They ain't got no gloves. He hands me the deal, and remember, we're talking about that little. But sorry, the second time I'm walking back. Well, the first time I went, people were looking at me crazy because it was kind of like there. Obviously, there's poorer areas in Africa, and that was kind of like the really, really sketchy area. I went over there, and the next time I'm walking, they saw me again. So now I'm starting to walk in there, and there's people. It's attracting people to the gym because this little ghost man's walking, keeps going to this gym.
What's the name of it again?
Mazungu. Yeah, I'm probably saying that wrong. But so now I'm creating a little bit of something for the gym to look at. So I start going, and I went there and I wrapped up my hands, and he's like, okay. He's like, come here, get under the light. He's like, go. I was like, what? This first dude comes forward to me.
Go what?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
box with somebody?
Yes. So they got, yes, I just have wraps on my hands. That's it.
Let's go. I'm in. Let's go.
It. And literally there's I don't have a camera. I don't have nothing. I literally got a dude I don't know that's just my translator. We started going, I don't have a mouth guard. I don't have a cup. No shin guards. No nothing. I'm like, so dude starts swinging. All right.
And was he swinging, like really swinging hard?
Yes, he was swinging.
All
so
right.
I start clicking the dude.
All right.
And I slam him on the ground. We're on concrete sparring. Slam him. He's doing, and then more Taekwondo based stuff. They're spinning heel kicks, all kinds of stuff. Slamming the dude, roughed him up good. And what happened? They sent me the next guy. I lead him like with busted up lips because I ain't got a nut to just beat up. And I'm like, all right. So he pretty much was like, I'm gonna beat him, let him get beat up, and he won't come back. Simple as that.
Right.
Go to work the next day. Come over. I'm like, hey, it's time to train. Let's go. I show up again. I walk in. He just looks at me. He's like, you train? I said, I train. He was like, all right. So I freaking paid $2 a day and went in there and trained. And then my time off, I started winning the guys' respect there. I went and trained there every day when I was there. They wanted to get me a fight and stuff, and I was planning on fighting when I was out there, and then I wound up having to like move out before they got some stuff together for me. So it would have been really cool, but it was cool working with the guys there. They didn't have Thai pads, they didn't have any kind of stuff like that. So I actually went and bought some Boda is basically like a cab driver's. But it's a bike, so they have like a little seat. So I basically went and bought two seats.
Kind of like a tuk-tuk?
Yeah, but it's
smaller.
It's just a bicycle.
Oh, a bicycle.
And somebody rides the bicycle and you sit on it. So there was a couple of Boda riders that worked there, and eventually these dudes it would take me an hour to walk there, an hour to get back home. And if you've ever been on the country or like, man, Africa, when I say it's dark, there's no light pollution at all. Like literally I'd be walking forward and they would run into something like that dark. Anyways, these dudes are used to it.
And then you might get eaten by a hyena at nighttime
yeah,
too.
something like that.
Yeah.
So one of the guys started actually taking me back and forth, but I went in one of those seats. I got two seats, and actually I'm pretty creative when I working stuff with my hands and doing different things. So I made these guys some Thai pads, and I brought it the next day or a couple of days later in training. So now their gym is getting more people coming through now because they keep seeing me, and when I'm sparring and doing stuff, there's like little windows and people are just all around there just looking in. So after a while,
because they'd never seen a Mazungu before.
The lightning Mazunga. That's what I should have been. So I went there, had a good time, and met those guys. And this is actually funny.
Where was this?
This was in
Tanzania.
Uganda. And this is actually funny because this is how I met Michael Corley.
In Uganda?
No.
I was going to say.
So I came back and started training, and I put out a post on Facebook. I was like, hey, I'm trying to raise money and try to get some gear to send back to these guys. And so I was like basically at some boxing. I was over at Krupong's Thai boxing, and a lot of people came and brought me old gear. They brought me new gear. They brought me all kinds of stuff, shorts, whatever. Corley fought on, I guess, the IFMA team, and was sponsored by Fairtex, I guess, or something for a little bit. And that's Heritage, and that's out in
Heritage?
Yeah,
Heritage is in Houston.
Houston, I mean, it's Heights area. Heights area is what I'm looking for.
Houston.
But you
Everybody
can also
knows Heritage.
Yeah,
Heritage Muay Thai.
Yeah. And this is where I actually met him. He actually brought me a bunch of gear.
Nice.
And
you were here in Houston at the time?
I was here in Houston at this time, and I got a bunch of gear together. He gave me a bunch of gear, gave me some cash, and we wound up shipping a huge box back to these guys.
Nice.
If you go back in through my photos, you'll see a bunch of guys. All those guys I trained with had no gear.
Those, yeah.
Yep. And all those guys that I trained with had no gear. We sent them shorts, gloves, all kinds of stuff. So it was pretty cool to be able to come back and be able to kind of help them out. You know,
and Thai pads.
Thai pads
Yeah,
too.
good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if it probably cost me more money sending it than it was to buy the gear actually, but it was cool. It took them literally like 4 months to get it, but it was cool to be able to kind of get back to them. Can't do a whole lot for them out there in some situations, but give them opportunity to kind of follow something that they love. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yep.
That's a cool story too.
That's a little different for sure.
Yeah, but that's good though. That's like a movie. You know, the movie where I'm just going to keep going back until they fucking let me in there.
I'm stubborn.
And it really did work.
It did.
Cool.
It did. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of did that at Andre Menard's gym in Holland. I took a beginner class, and he was like, "No, you're not a beginner." I was like, "No, just let me take the beginner class. I learn things, you know." So like, come to the advanced class and put me with all the big guys. They're whack, damn it. You know, they spar hard out there.
Yeah.
I had fun, and then yeah, he's a super nice guy. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was Uganda, huh?
Yeah. No, Uganda.
So you went around helping everybody. Was this like a Christian mission?
It was. There's a. I don't remember if I said it earlier or not. But there's a place. It's called the World Race, and it is like Christian based. We did other things from helping with orphanages, helping in churches, schools, really wherever we possibly could get our feet into and be able to help with. And it's learning curves, you know what I mean? You learn in the cultures.
And where did they get their funding, like, to feed people and things of that nature?
So that's another thing too. When I was going over there, I had to basically get sponsors, which wasn't really that hard for me because people kind of know how I am, I guess. So I talked to a lot of different people. They wanted to help support, whether it's, you'd be surprised, I literally ate off of like $7-8 a day, not lie. And
now, how much food could you get out there for $8 a day?
I mean, some places you could eat like a king. Some places you didn't eat at all. Like, you know what I mean? It just depends. You go through Europe, you're not eating a whole lot. You're eating once a day. You know what I mean? And then you can't just drink whatever water. You know what I mean? So it's it's a lot of learning curve when you're overseas. But there's times that you can never get back, and you would never change, and that's definitely one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you never want to take that back. That was a really good thing that you did, dude.
No, yeah, and I mean, it's, I'll be honest, my teeth, my health, it took just 1 year. It took a toll on me, like.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, a toll on me.
But you helped people.
I did.
And that's great.
And you know, I still keep in touch with people that, you know, we helped when I was over there.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool. And then obviously social media and everything's kind of coming up over there the years. So you start to, these people that you've seen years and years and years ago, then they're now popping back up because you created something in their mind and their heart, and they're reaching back to you now. So it's pretty cool.
And they remember that.
Yep. And it's really cool.
Great.
It could be something small that I did. It may not cost me that much, but it could change someone's life, you know?
Yeah. And that's a lot of the reason that I'm still teaching, because I would have quit a long time ago if people write me probably monthly saying, "Man, you helped me with my life," and I'm like,
we definitely don't do it for the money.
Taught you Muay Thai. And they were like, "Yeah, but I became confident. I dropped my girlfriend who was screwing me over. I married this other girl who's super nice because of my confidence," and blah blah blah. And I get stories like that probably once a month.
Yep.
And I think that's what life is about, bro.
It is. It is.
For sure.
It definitely is. So, and I'm on this next chapter in my life right now.
You got them kids running around.
Got them kids running around.
My little boy's awesome.
Yeah.
Little boy's
crazy. Yeah. My little girl too. She's now that we have a gym and we have kids classes and stuff.
Yeah.
She trained a little bit growing up, and then we didn't have kids classes, so now it's kind of like it's cool because there's kids classes. So she jumps in and does kids class and has a good time with it. My little man, he's just crazy.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
I like to think he's crazy like his mama.
He likes to try to call me on the phone and be like, "I'm gonna beat up Mark today."
He does say that. Yeah. Sometimes he wakes up and just says, "I'm gonna beat up Mark." That's a fact.
That kid's awesome.
Can't make it
up. All right,
up.
so let's get down to some shit you don't want to talk about.
All right.
What's up with your brother? Ready to talk about that? I know you don't want to talk about it. So here, I'll bring it out. His brother, his name is Samuel Mongonia. Politically correct, I am not. Okay, he now thinks he's a girl, and what do you think attributed to that? Do you accept that kind of stuff? Because it's politically correct now to say, well, yes, he's a girl, and me, my personal, I don't have to call them a girl because he's not. So that's my personal opinion. So what's yours?
My personal opinion, I kind of have, having kids is completely different than in life than not having kids. So certain things in life, I'm not to say I would, if my kids were to be a certain way when they got older, would I love them no matter what? Yes. 100%.
For sure.
100%. Would I be okay with it? Not so much. But would I never not talk to my kids? Would he still not be mine? Would my daughter still not be mine? No. And I try not to be too against people on what their beliefs and whatever. I try to be smooth about that stuff. But I personally, you know what I mean? I believe that you're born a certain way, and I feel like that you, from being all the way from being, it goes into so much into being born. Like, I just don't feel like you got put in the wrong body, and there's gonna be a lot of people with backlash on that. But here's the deal, like,
that's what my show's about. Backlash. Let's go.
Yeah,
I mean, you can have your own opinion. This is what I think the problem with the world is now, is people are basing, quote, facts off of feelings.
No.
And feelings are not facts.
Yeah.
So all this stuff that we have to call you a certain name is, so you're inhibiting my speech just like you say people are inhibiting yours. So you're saying that I can't do this, but that's exactly what you're against.
Yeah.
You're against people calling you a guy. So you're trying to do that same thing to me. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, but that's my opinion. I was asking yours.
Yeah. And I try to love people no matter what. Right now with my kids, they're at the age of like trying to figure things out. And obviously I have my ex-wife, and then I have my wife now.
Right.
And then I have my kids, and
Right.
I have to take consideration of what my ex-wife says, and also to what my wife says. And we've sat down and talked about what's best for my kids. I haven't seen them in a while. I love them to death. Like, I miss them.
Of course.
Like, you know what I mean?
Man, dude, look, I go to gay bars. I don't care. I have fun. I'm not gay,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
That's fine. But try not to force the things on me. That's the only thing I don't like.
And that's the thing too, is like, there's a lot of stuff that's out there right now, and a lot of people try to force different things. And I try not to make a lot of hubbub and posts about different things. I'm an emotional person, so like me personally, like, it hurts whenever I don't see someone, or I've put so much into someone. But over time, you have givers and you have takers, and whenever I've helped someone for a long period of time and I get attacked back, like, a lot of times it's easier for you to just kind of step back.
Yeah.
And like in situations like that, I do. I personally, like, for people that are born men, or my biggest deal is, like, if you're going to compete or do certain things, like, I don't feel like in fighting it would be fair.
Well, now competing, that's a
whole nother
subject.
thing.
Now I have a cure for that. A cure? Not a cure. That's not the. I have an answer for that. What they should do is they should take blood, like they do drug tests, right? They take blood, and if you have the XX chromosome, you're in this league. If you have the XY chromosome, you're in this league. Now, I'm not saying you can't be a girl. You're a girl, but you have the XX. You have to fight over here, or compete over here, whatever competition it is. Then it becomes science instead of feelings. See? So these guys that are fighting girls, or used to be guys that are fighting girls, it wouldn't happen anymore. You just say scientifically you have the XX. Sorry, you're in the XX leagues. This is the XX league, and you can be a girl, but you're fighting him.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's done.
There's a lot of ties that do that too. You know what I mean?
Of course. Lady boys in Thailand are normal. It's normal. Like walking down the street, like, you go out with a lady boy? I go, no. Why? I'm like, no. It's just normal.
And getting back to that, like, I literally had nothing but love for him for right now. And whenever that time comes, I got pinned in a couple of situations, a little personal, but pinned in a couple of situations where it was basically choose me this way or whatever. And I was like, man, I'm really trying to figure things out for my family. It's not so much myself. If it's really for me to just up and be like, okay, well, you know what I mean, let's do it this way, and I'm not taking consideration of my wife or my ex-wife or what my daughter, and maybe one day my daughter or my son will be like, maybe you should have went about it this way. I'll only know. It's just like raising kids, you'll never know till you get to a certain point. You never know.
But you have to do what you believe is best for your kids,
Yeah.
and that's up to you. That's your decision.
It is.
To what you think is best for your kids.
And if you try to take that away from me, that's where I have a problem.
Oh, huge problem.
Yeah.
I'll bust somebody's ass. So your gym's going good.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been going really good. I don't want to say, man, it's been a dream come true. I've been just walking on clouds, man. Walking on clouds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
You get to punch people every day. That's pretty fun, too.
And then I get to pick them back up and then punch them again.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
I have questions that I asked at the end of my podcast. Have you watched my podcast?
Yeah.
No. All right, look. So, I have 10 questions that are my standard questions. They're a little bit differs for each person, okay? But the first one that I ask most people I've had on here are Muay Thai guys is, what's your favorite move?
Particularly myself.
Yeah, like what move do you like that you use a lot whenever you box? What's your favorite move?
There's some counter style stuff I like to do. I have one in particular that I really like to do. But,
all right, show me.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go. Headphones. Okay, I would have got kicked in the neck right there, but I seen your moves before.
I'm pretty sure I've kicked you in the neck with that before.
No. You guys, there's a move for you. Try it. All right. So that's my first question that I have. My second question is, what's your least favorite move? What is it?
The Superman punch.
I like.
I don't know why. I don't know why. The Superman punch and the spinning back fist. Don't get me wrong. We can hit you, but I just cringe when I see it.
Bro, I hate the Superman punch too.
No, I don't know.
There was only one Superman punch I ever liked. Joe Schilling. When Joe Schilling won Glory with the but
sleepy time.
If you throw a Superman punch on me in practice, we'll be fighting.
No.
Don't do that. All right. That's good. All right. So, what would you like to accomplish?
I would like to get back in the ring, and I thought maybe it's time for me to hang it up and do this and do that, but the gym gets popping, right away, and I would like to get back out there. I personally hate the way I fight. I can't change it though. I don't know why, but people like watching me fight. So I'm excited to get back out there and hopefully put some numbers together for some people. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna make that happen.
We are.
We can make that happen. All right. So the new business that you're in, this is the first time you had the business, but you've worked in this business for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you hate about this business?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll be 100% honest. Probably the shady people you run across.
Boom.
Yep. Shady people you run across, which you're going to run that anything, but man, martial artists can be really shady. That's why I try to be 100% upfront with people. Whether it costs me at the end of the day, I'm just going to give you my heart, and I'm going to hopefully get that back from you,
Yeah. Shady people.
Yep.
That could answer any question about what you hate, shady people. But yeah, you're right. For sure. Okay, so what in this life, what do you love the most? I know your family. That's what everybody's answer is family.
Cut me off there.
Everybody's answer is family. Now we're gonna preface this and say, okay, your family. But what else in life do you love? Man?
I would say I love people, but at the same time, I kind of don't. I do love people, but I don't. Yeah. I like being by myself. One thing that, man, I like old school stuff.
Like, for example?
I got a 54 Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like old cars?
I like old cars.
You
I like
you
everything.
like wrenching on stuff.
I like wrenching on things.
Yeah.
And I've done that for years, and I've never
Yeah.
done it as like work, but it's always fun to just go get in the garage and chill.
I do too. Wrenching on things, fixing it because you want to, and fixing it because it's
You have
broken
to.
is two different things.
Two different things.
It's super different things. And like I love wrenching on stuff and wanting to fix it, but then if you have to fix it, you're broke down or something, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'll take that. Okay. You probably don't use this word, but what in life do you hate?
In life in general. Man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I want to say selfishness, to tell you the truth.
All right.
And I guess that's probably just comes back to working with, you're running across shady people. But yeah, selfishness, I would have to say.
You know, most people that you're like me. Most people that hate people that are selfish are mostly the unselfish people. You know what I mean? It's people that give, and then when they run across somebody that they've given so much to, and then they're selfish, then you hate it.
Yeah.
Because you think. I don't think everybody should be like that, but I think everybody should be like that. You know what I mean? Why aren't you like me? Why aren't you unselfish and giving? You know? Yeah.
There's if it's a person, and you'll hardly ever hear me ever say that I hate a person.
Yeah.
There is definitely.
I mean, you'll hear me say that.
Yeah.
No.
There's definitely some people out there. I'm like, yo, you can stump your toe for the rest of your life.
That's the nicest thing. That's not mean.
Every day you wake up, you stump your toe.
Okay, dude, how did this neck piece feel, bro?
Oof. So 1 to 10?
Yeah.
12.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what hurts bad, though? That.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I've heard the neck's bad too, though, but I don't know. I don't have anything on my neck.
This was kind of my wife was very much against it. And then I kind of wore down with joking with it for so long that I think she just gave up. And then when I went to
she can't be against it now.
I know.
It ain't coming off.
That was kind of my way of never going back to the corporate world, I guess. So sink or swim, burn the ships.
I mean, tattoos are way more accepted nowadays.
It's true.
So, yeah.
This motherfucker, though.
Oh, dude. That had to feel great.
It did.
Oh, that had to hurt so bad.
It did.
All right. So, if I was talking to some of your students or some of your friends or somebody, and they say, what does Sammy say all the time? What's your favorite saying?
Oh. Mother sucker runs up there quite a bit.
It's a good thing he doesn't cuss or it'd be motherfucker.
What would it be? In the gym or just in general?
In general, like in life, what's your favorite saying?
Man, I don't know. You know me pretty well.
Come on, man. Something you say all the time. People always get stumped on this. So, for all you guys that are watching, if you know, Sammy says this all the time. Put a comment.
Shish.
Shish.
Like, dang, that's some shish. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Again, he doesn't cuss, but he gets around it by saying shish instead of shit.
Yeah, so like I'll do something and my guy's like, stupid Sammy shish. Yeah.
So
it's a move or something.
Hey, what kind of podcast were you on? Talking shish with Beecher.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I'll take that. All right. So if you didn't do this, what you're doing now, what profession would you do?
Probably still working in oil and gas, man.
And what did you do in oil and gas?
I worked for a valve maintenance supply group for oil rigs, natural gas pipelines.
A valve maintenance?
Valve maintenance supply group.
Okay, so
grease. I literally was a grease monkey.
I don't like that term.
No, literally, I worked on hydraulic pumps. They went to anywhere from 6,000 to 14,000 psi.
And what did they use those for?
To grease valves.
To grease valves that are in what? In chemical plants?
Plug valves, gate valves, pipeline, all pipeline stuff, fittings, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, did that.
And they have jobs that people build grease guns just to grease valves.
Yep, that are not cheap. Yep, that's it.
That's crazy.
And when COVID happened, there was where we're essential, and I probably worked more in that time when COVID actually happened than I have my entire life. Like, seriously.
Yeah?
Yep.
But that's when you were also building the gym.
It was.
Yeah. I know. I came and helped you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah.
So
Which I
what I'm
forget
saying
that.
is you help your friends with your dreams, bro.
Yep.
So your friends have something they want to do, help them.
Yeah. Whether you like them or not.
Anyways.
I mean,
Son of a. All right. So what profession would you never do ever?
oof.
Shoveling elephant shit. I mean, what would you never do?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Politics.
Politics.
Yeah. I think I would
Yeah.
die inside.
But they make all the money
Yeah.
because politics isn't about politics anymore. It's about making money.
Yeah.
But you would never be a politician.
No, ever. Like,
You couldn't anyway. Look at you.
I know.
I mean, me neither. But all right. Yeah, I wouldn't sit in an office, dude.
No.
I
Yeah.
would, if I had to go to an office and sit behind a desk and do this every day and go home and go back, no,
Pretty old real fast.
I would end it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So politics, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Why? What's wrong with politicians, bro?
They can all stump their toe. They can all stump their toe.
Forever.
Forever.
All right. So the last question I always ask, it's a deep one. Ready?
Uh-oh.
At the end of your life, it's all said and done. You're going to die. How would you like for people to remember you?
Man, I feel like even right now in life, even people that don't know me, I feel like a lot of people from just social media, how I interact with people, I want them to know that, you know, I gave everything in everything I did. And, you know, the one thing that I didn't really get down too much with you was I never did drugs. I never drank. I never smoked. I never did anything because I'm an addicted personality. And that being said, if anything is to help me feel better and help me get through something, I normally I would rather do without, and I need to work through it. And that's the reason why I've done Muay Thai for so long, is because some people are like, well, what do you work so hard? I mean, how many fight camps you tell me? Rest.
Yeah, I have to tell you to rest.
And I would just go over and over and over and over and keep pushing. But when I'm not, you know, we all have those demons in our heads, and when I'm working out, I'm not thinking about that stuff that's going on. I'm not thinking about that cycle that's going in my head all the time. And so that's what's really helped me a lot of time. Maybe that's that high that is getting in the ring, is that high that other people smoke or do this or do drugs, and maybe that's where they get their high. But personally, for me, I have an addicted personality, and so I don't.
You know, it's working out has been proven to help with depression. It releases endorphins, you know.
Yep.
So you're saying that's you.
Yep.
It releases endorphins. So you have an addictive personality, but you're addicted to something that's good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
And I try to help people with that. And I know that if I was to pass away, I feel like everyone would have a good word for me and be able to say,
Right.
like.
But how do you want them to remember you as that addictive dude that's addicted to working out? How do you want for everyone to remember you? Not your family, just everyone in general. How would you like for people to remember you?
That I'm always there for people.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard, especially being a family man. It's
Yeah.
hard. But if you have a strong support, I've always told my guys to create the surrounding that you want to be in. Create the surrounding that you want to be in.
Ooh, I like that. I need that, dude.
Yeah, and that's and you can't, because you can't find it. This
Yeah.
gym that I'm in right now, I created the atmosphere, the surrounding I want to be in. It's not necessarily about them; it's about me, and they're enjoying it.
Right.
So personally,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great, dude. All right. So where's your gym at?
It is off of Louetta in Kirkendall.
I mean, what's the address, bro?
4711 Kirkendall.
Okay.
Or sorry, Louetta. My bad. Louetta. Go to
your own gym.
Sammy'sMuayTime.com.
Yeah. What's your website?
Sammy'sMuayThai.com.
All right.
Yeah,
and,
you can go check us out.
You gonna fight again soon?
That's the plan. So if you're out
I'm
there,
gonna fight him right after this podcast.
yeah, if you're out there and you need some of the bull or mustachio, I think is what they're trying to call me now too. Yeah, that little thing.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in.
Man, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Bring me that little boy.
Well.
I owe him one of these.
Yeah, get
all right,
them
thanks,
little
bro.
hands on you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
Just talking a little bit. There's a couple other things I was going to dump on you, but I brought up your brother. That was enough. I mean, it's part of it, dude. My podcast
I'm tripping.
is talking shit.
Yeah.